I've played games where I've saved the world, fought monsters, built giant factories, and explored entire planets. But apparently, the thing that can keep me entertained for hours is putting books back on shelves. I didn't really expect to spend almost 20 hours doing just that, but here we are. In fact, when I first saw the librarian tidy up the Arcane Library on Steam and across YouTube, I didn't think it was right for me. You have one goal, and it's to clean up a messy library. You have to take random books off the floor, find the right shelves, and just keep going. There's, I think, off the top of my head, about 3,000 books. That's a lot of books. After kind of reluctantly buying it and still thinking I wouldn't like it and it wouldn't be for me, it became very quickly apparent that yes, this type of game is perfect for me, and I can totally understand why this type of game has slowly taken over Steam and it's become so popular. When you start from the beginning, all you can see are books scattered around everywhere, and it almost feels impossible. But there is something so satisfying about seeing a section of books slowly clear. You get to see the floor, you can see the desk, you uncover these piles, putting the books back together where they belong. That almost impossible feeling at the beginning of the game when you first load in, and it feels almost overwhelming because there are so many books scattered around and you don't know where to begin. You don't understand what you're doing. But then when you pick up your first book, you have a look at the cover of it. It's different to any of the other books that you see scattered around. The title is different. You take notice of the title, you go and check the map on the wall, you find where it belongs. It's incredibly satisfying taking something, putting it away, and then another. And then you start to realize that, hey, this book over here is the same one that I picked up earlier. They must go together. And then finally, slowly, the shelves start coming together. You start to build your first full shelf. You have a full shelf of matching books, and it's the best feeling because the whole time I was thinking to myself, why? Why am I playing this? Why am I picking up books and putting them on shelves? But then you get to that point where you have completed a full shelf, your first shelf, and it feels momentous. And before you know it, you're looking around and thinking, I can do this. Yes, I will be here for hours tidying up this arcane library, but I can do this. I think that feeling is a huge part of what makes games like this so enjoyable. The changes are right there in front of you. You can see exactly what you've achieved. You've taken this messy, unorganized library, turning it very slowly into something much neater and tidier with empty, bare space until the library just slowly becomes a reflection of all the time that you've spent tidying it, sorting it, organizing it. There is something so comforting about sorting things and putting them into their proper places. The piles and stacks of random books just piled on top of each other, just scattered about everywhere. It feels so messy and overwhelming. But once everything starts to have a home, a place, the whole library, the whole space feels cleaner, it feels clearer, and it almost feels like it's a mental load lifted as well. I love when I start recognizing books, when I start recognizing categories. I know that, oh, this book goes over there on that side of the library. This book goes just over here. It feels so good to finally recognize those patterns. And there's a lot of books, there's thousands of books, and so many shelves, so many rows. And when you start to remember things and it clicks, it's just such a good feeling using your brain, and everything, just starts making sense. The librarian creates this really relaxing rhythm. You pick up a book, you know where it belongs, you take it to the right shelf, you put it in the shelf, and then you just move on to the next one. It's a very simple loop. There's nothing groundbreaking in this game, but it is so unbelievably rewarding if you're anything like me. But it goes beyond finding books and putting them on the right shelves. It's the setting of this game as well. You're in a library, but it's not just a regular standard library, it's a magical library. And there's a little story going along in the background as well. I'm not going to spoil that here. You need to play it for yourself. But I do love that it's not just, oh, here's a bunch of books, put them on the shelves, away you go, game over. There's this funny little story going along in the background. Every single book is uniquely titled. Every single book is uniquely designed. There is just so much care and charming little details put into this game that really makes it stand head and shoulders above others like it. Oh, there may have been other games like it in the past, but this is the one that has started this snowball effect with all of these other similar games coming out, because there's just something so magical and charming about this particular game. So much so that I have gone in and had a look at other similar games, but they don't seem to have this appeal. They don't seem to have this draw. I'm not drawn to them, though I will admit, I actually went in to play the Roblox version of this game, and no, it's nowhere near as good at all. What I love about the Librarian Tidy Up the Arcane Library is that it just takes this very simple idea and turns it into something genuinely enjoyable and hugely satisfying. Every book you place into a shelf feels like a small achievement. Every complete row that you do feels huge. And the more and more that you do, a whole bookcase can be filled up and completed. It just makes the library feel so much more alive. And yes, it takes hours to do this. You can do it without using magic. You can do it one book at a time. And I love that there are so many different ways that you can play this. You can go full on magic, you can go no magic, you can go a speed run, or you can just completely take your time. Everything you do in this game just adds to that little progression meter in your head that you just tick, 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 tick. And if you're someone that does like ticking off chores or tasks, or even in your head, even mentally, oh, I've done this, I need to do this. It is just the best feeling when you get to tick off this shelf, this row, this whole bookcase, all the books cleared from this little section. Something I realized recently, and it's the kind of game that I have been embracing so much more lately, is that not every game needs to be some epic adventure. You don't need to play a game for 50 or 100 hours for it to be the best game ever. You don't need to have all these huge missions, these big battle scenes. Sometimes you just need to spend an hour or so in a peaceful little place, picking up books and leaving it just a little bit more tidier than when you walked in and found it, when you sat down to start your gaming session. After spending time in this library, I completely understand why this genre has exploded, and I regret not playing it sooner. I was totally wrong when I thought this game is not for me, even though when I played this game, I was thinking multiple times during it, why am I playing this game? But I could not stop. And I think I will forever be on this journey to find a similar game like Librarian Tidy Up the Arcane Library. And what saddens me is that I don't think I'll ever find something as magical as this.